Hey everybody, what's up? It's James Espinosa, and welcome back to my channel, the Sunday Sports Rush. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning on in. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell for future updates on my videos. All right, today I want to do a Texas Longhorn report. So earlier this week, Horns 24/7 reported that redshirt sophomore wide receiver Jordan Whittington will miss the Oklahoma State game happening tomorrow, and it also came out that he will be out for the season. Coach Sarkisian confirmed that during a press conference. Now, that's a big thing right there because Jordan Whittington is one of the big-time playmakers for this Longhorn team. He was one of the best third down receivers that the Longhorns had all season long. When you talk about Jordan Whittington and what it means for the Texas offense, just put it this way. Whittington had been huge for Texas on third downs, with 11 of his 24 catches coming on third down for 194 yards. He was what I would consider Casey Thompson's security blanket, someone that moved the chains, someone that made big plays. Now, 9 of those third down catches sustained drives to points, including 8 drives to touchdowns. So he has been key when it comes to moving those chains and getting positive points on these touchdown drives. Also, another note about Whittington and how his absence is going to affect this Texas team. 54% of Whittington's 359 yards receiving this season had come on third down. Big time loss for the Texas Longhorns when it comes to Jordan Whittington, the Cuero product. What's going to happen with the Longhorns going forward? Who can possibly replace Jordan Whittington? Well, the Longhorns are going to look at junior wide receiver Marcus Washington. He's the next man up when it comes to that. But Coach Sarkisian also said this could be an opportunity for Kelvontae Dixon to step up in Whittington's absence. So look out for Marcus Washington and Kelvontae Dixon to replace Jordan Whittington, the third down maestro receiver playmaker who is going to be out for the entire year. Broken clavicle suffered against the Oklahoma Sooners last weekend. Moving on to recruiting. All right, it's a huge weekend in Longhorn recruiting, and let me tell you why. Arch Manning is excited to get back in Austin this week for a visit. According to Arch Manning, who of course is the nephew of Peyton Manning, he's a legacy name. He is a Manning for crying out loud. He at 6'4", 215 pounds. Arch Manning is ranked as the #1 quarterback in the nation and the #1 overall prospect in Louisiana, according to the 247 Sports Composite. Now, the thing about Manning is this. He's also visited Alabama. He's also visited Georgia. He's had nothing but good things to say about those places. And let's be real, who wouldn't, right? Those are 2 stalwart programs here in this nation. But according to sources out there, Arch has been pretty impressed with what he's seen out of Texas, despite Texas losing to Oklahoma. Manning said, quote, "They've been playing really well. He knows that Bijan is a workhorse here, and that's something that excites him. He also knows that A.J. Milwee and Steve Sarkisian are pretty laid back in nature, and that is something that mixes well with Manning, according to all reports." A quote from Arch Manning: "He's really a laid-back guy, which I kind of like," in referencing Steve Sarkisian. Quote, "He's not always pitching me. He just kind of checks in, and that's what I like about him. He's just a laid-back guy and a genius when it comes to football." So big-time weekend for the recruiting trail. Texas does have an 11 o'clock game against Oklahoma State, which is pretty good according to Sarkisian because that gives Sark some time to spend with his recruits post-game. Hopefully it's a victory for the Longhorns, so that way Sark and everybody can show off to Arch Manning and the other recruits, hey, this is what we can do at Texas. So yes, big-time recruiting weekend. Of course, Manning still doesn't have any sort of official timeline for his decision. He said that while he feels he could have more clarity, of course, with more visits, he doesn't want to rush anything. So Arch still not rushing anything, but it's a big weekend. It's a big weekend. Arch Manning is in town. This is a chance to impress if you are the Texas Longhorns. Moving on to Oklahoma State. Big-time game tomorrow against Oklahoma State happening at DKR, 11 a.m. kickoff. Just going to give you some quick notes on Oklahoma State and what you can expect out of this game this weekend for the Texas Longhorns. So Oklahoma State comes in here with a stout defense. They only give up 18.6 points per game through 5 victories. Now, their 5 wins are over Missouri State, Tulsa, Boise State, Kansas State, and Baylor. Okay, not necessarily a murderer's row, but the Baylor victory is impressive. The Boise State victory is impressive. And you could say Kansas State's victory is impressive as well. So you got to give the Oklahoma State Cowboys their credit. They're coming in pretty good. OSU is the best in the Big 12 at stopping opposing offenses on third down, allowing opponents to convert on third down just 29.7% of the time. What did I say at the beginning of this video? Jordan Whittington is out. He was the Longhorns' best third down threat in the passing game. Oklahoma State is the best third down defense in the Big 12. Something's going to have to give right there. And if you're the Longhorns, you're definitely going to have to find a way to replace Jordan Whittington. Now, the Longhorns are converting 51.9% of their third downs, which is second in the Big 12. Let's talk about Bijan Robinson real quick. We saw last week how he had 10 carries for over 100 yards in the first half against Oklahoma, and then after that, he essentially got shut down. We need to see more Bijan, man. More Bijan Robinson. I'm telling you, this guy is a mix of Marshall Faulk. He's a mix of Emmitt Smith. He's a do-it-all back. He could do it out of the backfield. Pass catching, of course, we know what he can do on the ground when he's rushing the ball. 789 yards, 131.5 yards per game, and 8 touchdowns. Need more Bijan Robinson tomorrow. The Oklahoma offense. Let's talk about Oklahoma State's offense. The Cowboys' offense has struggled. They average just 24.5 points per game. That is 9th best in the Big 12. Not good. Of course, they did lose from last year's team, former 2,000-yard rusher Chuba Hubbard, all Big 12 receiver Tylan Wallace, and all Big 12 offensive lineman Tevin Jenkins to the NFL. Now, they're still trying to replace those guys, but still, 24.5 points per game, 9th in the Big 12. This offense does not put up a ton of points. Texas could have its way with them. Watch out for Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Sanders, of course. He is a kind of a dual-threat quarterback. You got to be careful. He could make plays, but something to note, he's completing just 58.3% of his passes and has thrown for only 5 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. I think Texas can disrupt him, but still, you cannot take him for granted. Spencer Sanders has made plays in the past, and he could definitely put up some plays now. Who are some go-to guys on the offense for OSU? You're talking about running back Jaylen Warren with 512 yards, 6 touchdowns. Receivers Tay Martin with 21 receptions, 317 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And, of course, the speedster Brennan Presley, who has 12 catches, 188 yards, and 1 touchdown. All right. Something to note about Spencer Sanders as well, the quarterback, he is the team's second leading rusher, 196 yards with 2 touchdowns. So, Spencer Sanders dual threat. Oklahoma's offense struggles to score points at 24.5 points per game, but their defense is pretty stout. They only give up 18.6 points per game. They're undefeated for a reason. They're coming into Texas tomorrow, 11 a.m., Texas is a 5-point favorite. The over-under is 60 total points. I really am not the kind of guy that wants to give predictions, but I'm going to give them momentarily. But it's going to be big for Texas to shake off that OU loss. I know it was devastating. It's heartbreaking. It was a monumental collapse unlike any other. But you got to shake off that loss. You got to move forward because the Big 12 championship, believe it or not, is still in play, and it's still in Texas's hands. If they could sweep the rest of the season, if they could win out, you could possibly face the Sooners once again in the Big 12 championship game. But it starts tomorrow against an undefeated Oklahoma State. With everything that I just said, I believe Coach Sark is going to have these guys ready to play. I think they're going to bounce back, and I think they're going to want to prove themselves that they are ready to win a big game. Give me Texas 34. Give me Oklahoma State 21. I think Texas is going to be able to put up points on this defense, and I don't think Oklahoma's offense is going to be able to keep pace with this Texas offense. This Oklahoma State offense, I should say, is going to be able to keep pace with this Texas offense. As I said, Texas 34. Oklahoma State 21. So there we go. That is your Longhorn Report for the week. Remember, I'm on the radio each Sunday down here in Corpus Christi on the Sunday Sports Rush. News Talk KEYS 1440 AM 98.7 FM. Find us on 1440keys.com. Hit the Listen Live tab. Also listen to us on our app 1440 Keys. Download that. Listen to the show 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Sunday, the Sunday Sports Rush. Hit the bell. Hit the likes. Subscribe, drop a comment, all that. More videos to come. I'll have a halftime video, I'll have a post-game video. I'm talking Longhorns all weekend long, as well as Dallas Cowboys, and maybe some Houston Astros. Let's go, Stros. They're in the ALCS. And let's go. Hook 'em horns, baby. Big game tomorrow against Oklahoma State. All right, guys, I am out. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Talk to you later.